Welcome to Movie World, the place where we only talk movies. I'm Andy Signore, and I'm here to review West Side Story, Steven Spielberg's remake of the classic Academy Award-winning musical. I gotta be honest, when I was watching this film, I kept wondering why classic, visionary icon Steven Spielberg was remaking an Academy Award-winning classical musical. I still have trouble understanding what the whole purpose was. Now, granted, when you go back and you compare these films, there are obviously problems. Back in the day, they actually didn't cast any Puerto Ricans. They used brownface, something that obviously is not okay today. Wasn't really okay then. Casting a bunch of white actors as the Puerto Rican talent and then making their skin darker with makeup is obviously nothing that should never have flied. Why not cast actual Hispanic, Puerto Rican, Latin actors? Well, this film finally rights that wrong, and that is definitely a better thing. The film also technically looks better. They obviously shoot it more cinematically than the original does, which I gotta be honest, even the original, it was pretty good for its time. However, overall, it's a lot of matching of the same scenes and themes and ideas, and just ultimately I didn't understand why. And I got a lot of issues I want to get through in this, but my biggest reason is this film is silly. And you got to go straight to the core of what this film is about, which is a love story. This film is a remake, the original, the musical. It's all a remake of William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. And in this film, we focus on two actors, Ansel Elgort and Rachel. I don't have her name here. These two actors are okay. Ansel Elgort's definitely the sore thumb of the movie. He definitely, take all his allegations aside, all the things people are getting mad at him about, completely ignoring that, he's just not the best part of this film by any stretch of the imagination. He's too tall. He's almost too good looking, jockey. There's just something about him that just didn't work for me. His demeanor, his persona. I mean, he's attractive. And it makes sense, I guess, then that Maria would instantly fall in love with him, and then he would instantly fall in love. She's adorable. But that's literally what this film is about. They share a glance, they share a dance, and now they're in love with each other forever. They're going to start a war with their two competing neighborhoods, the Sharks and the Jets, because they're in love forever. They just know it. It's their first love ever, and their true love it's undeniable, guys. I'm sorry. It's so silly when you watch it and you see it today. Not in like the 60s version where you're like, all right, well, this is an older film, so makes sense why it's a little silly at times. Like today in 2021, I'm sorry, I don't buy the love story. Yes, people get smitten, they fall in love by attractiveness. Okay, it happens. But the whole movie then it relies on us feeling for these two lovers. And at no point did I. She's better than him. Ultimately, they both sing well. But at the end of the day, I couldn't connect to them. I connected to some of the other cast. Some of the other cast was good. This scene, America, by far is the best part of the film. And if you're a fan of the musical, you like the original, you'll no doubt have a better time than I did, just going expecting an updated, modernized version of, the original film. And I think you hopefully will have a better time than I did. This America sequence is by far the best part of the movie in my opinion. But the film, showcases the Sharks and the Jets. And another problem of the film, like the Jets suck. Like it's so clear that the Jets suck. Now, a lot of people are saying that this film just resonates more than ever today with all the diversity issues we're having and problems and upheavals and all that. Sure, but my God, this was really bad. This was like a really bad period in history, and it's not that bad. Am I allowed to say that? I mean, it's not as bad as it was in this period where they're just... It makes no sense. These guys are buffoon, bully idiots who absolutely are in the wrong. And anybody acting like this should be called out and stopped because they're atrocious people. I forgot at the end of the film, they literally corner Anita in that store and then proceed to, it's really depressing. These guys suck. They're massive villains. And then you got the Sharks, who are, just stubborn but within reason, because they're just being, completely unfairly treated because they're not white. And obviously not right either. But even then, they get so hot-headed and ignorant at times, or they're just like, why do we keep fight dancing? Why do we keep fight dancing? I don't understand. There's so much fight dancing. Just shake hands and move on and get along with it. What was going on? Now, in that time period, I get it. It didn't work that way. Nowadays, we're a little better off. Come on, we're a little better off, right? And so it's just even that idea of like, okay, let's watch a movie about the races and the turf war and they don't get along. It's just even that was just sort of annoying to watch. Because I'm like, all right, I think we've gotten a little bit better than this. We could talk about police and, you know, people don't think there's still racism in the world, which there is. But I don't think we're at the point where there's literal turf wars as to you can't be here anymore and get out of our... Am I being ignorant again? I don't know. Anyway, I guess putting all that aside, the two main issues of this film obviously are the race war and the love story, and I couldn't connect to either as the bottom line. I couldn't have a problem. And honestly, because this film has made such a point of casting Latinx actors, which I know Lewis will love. Latinx is an offensive term to 99.9% of all Latino community. Yet, of course, that's what this film, Spielberg was all about, making sure it was cast within Latinx communities, which I don't even want to use that word because I don't think that's a proper word to use. But at the end of the day, this film is all about Puerto Rico, Puerto Ricans. And all the diversity they did and all the representation, they still couldn't cast a Puerto Rican Maria. Why? You really couldn't have at least committed to Maria. Now he says like, oh, well, we cast 20 of the 33 were all of Puerto Rican descent, or, you know, had a little bit of Puerto Rican in them, as they were like checking everybody's DNA to ensure, because that's where we've come as a culture. But at the end of the day, this film is all about the Puerto Rican history and them coming forward, and especially Maria and her brother and his Anita. Like those three should have been Puerto Ricans. And I'm sorry, I didn't know who any of those three people were in reality. Like all these cast members, Ansel Elgort aside, the other three people are supposed to be Puerto Rican. And from what I've gathered, they're not. They're not. She's Colombian and Polish. Who cares what? But I'm just saying, in this world of where we are, where Spielberg is out there making such a big deal about this, it just felt disingenuous that he didn't at least own it and cast his leads as Puerto Ricans, which I'm sure, back me up, other Puerto Ricans who are watching, wouldn't that have been nice? Given this movie has always sort of been this unwritten, like, yay, it's Puerto Rican, but not really any Puerto Ricans, just a bunch of people in brownface. This could have been, granted, they did a lot better. They finally cast Hispanic people in the role. Okay, great. Rita Moreno, who's Puerto Rican in the original, she's back. They write an interesting new part from her. But overall, all these things, just like I couldn't get over it all as I was watching the film. I really got hung up on the love story, which I didn't think was actually very relatable. I thought they were just dumb kids. They were honestly kind of annoying. It was just like, I wanted to slap sense into everybody in this movie. I'm like, God, you're all just overreacting. Everybody in this movie is overreacting, fighting for no reason. You guys aren't actually in love. You barely know each other. You've given me no scenes to really buy your love affair. Why are we so connected to this? Personally, I don't get it. I guess I remember watching the original as a kid. I remember, the music. There's so many songs you probably even forget are from this musical. It was nice to revisit those. There are some really well done sequences, especially as you look by the, do I have the side-by-side here? There's a lot of cool shots, but particularly the shot when they meet, or are passed up here. This one that was in the trailers, like there's a few cinematography moments that are just like, boof, it looks amazing. Of course, Spielberg has, the best crews in the world working on this film. However, sadly, at the end of the day, Spielberg, why did you need to remake this? You just needed, anybody could have done what you did. Cast proper, Hispanic actors, redo this film cinematically, and great, we have another version of it that people can watch instead of the other one if they really choose to. Okay? But Spielberg, I don't know, I just put Spielberg on another level, and I've been constantly disappointed by the stuff. And look, I'm always going to respect and love this legend of a filmmaker. Half the movies he's made are behind me in some way or another. And there's E.T., they're all back there. I'm forever going to be a Spielberg fan. He can do no wrong because of the work he's done in the past. However, I don't know. This was really what he was passionate about. Okay. All right. Well, didn't work for me. It's another one on Spielberg's later year filmography that I just feel like won't hold up at the end of the day. This is not a film that's going to be like, oh, make sure we put the remake of West Side Story into the classic film library so people can see it. No, put the original in. Go watch the original for film history and hear the music and it is, make people aware. Yeah, we painted their faces brown. It's kind of effed up, but we live and we learn, right? Still more important than needing to remake this. So at the end of the day, will people who are fans of the musical love it? Yeah, there were people cheering in my theater. I'm sure more people will be cheering as well. I'm sure some people will say I'm just being grumpy, but overall, it just wasn't my bag. And I like musicals. I'm still not embarrassed to admit The Greatest Showman was my favorite movie of that year. Fantastic film. So I love a good Disney or regular musical when done right. This one couldn't connect to these characters. Could not connect to these characters. Not my bag, baby. But hey, hopefully it's yours. Let me know what you think. I liked In the Heights better. I did think I enjoyed that one more. But overall, yeah, thumbs down for me on West Side Story. Just unnecessary, overly long. And just go watch the original. Unless you're one of those people that can't enjoy older movies and have to watch the modernized version, well then, we got a movie for you. Go enjoy it. In the meanwhile, why don't you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for all alerts, smash that like button, and leave a comment down below. Did I say too much? Am I going to get canceled again? Oh, Jesus. Always walking on eggshells. No wonder Spielberg needed to make this movie. He just feels like he just thought, yeah, this would be a great, safe, that's what everyone's into right now. So, yeah. Okay, cool. Well, enjoy it, guys. That's all I got for you here. Make sure you check out these as well. Thank you guys so much for watching here on Movie World. Lots more movie content, reviews, reactions coming here on the channel.